Hello, Trailblazers, and I am so glad to have Carla White with me today on the entrepreneur journey. Um, Carla, I was introduced from a friend of mine, Evans Putnam, and she's just amazing. So we're going to get into her story and how she helps entrepreneurs with a fabulous piece of technology as well as her coaching program. So without further ado, though, I want to get into some other questions. So doing my research, I went onto your Facebook profile and the cutest dog on the internet is there.
I
So,
know.
so tell me about the cutest dog on the internet.
Yeah. So that's Ziggy, who's currently looking up at me. He's about this big.
Oh,
He's right at my toes, wagging his tail. Super cute little doggy. So yeah, just brand new addition to the family.
nice. Well, I will tell you that after seeing that dog, my wife and I went on the internet and because I looked also that what kind of dog it was because a bunch of people were asking you questions about what kind of dog it was. And
Yeah.
then my wife and I, we hopped on the internet and we spent about an hour looking at dogs.
And now you're gonna have to get one. It's here. You want
Nice. Oh my goodness. That is so much cuteness.
Yeah, he's sweet.
Nice.
So yeah, he's my partner in business.
Nice. I know that he brings traffic.
He brings the right traffic. How about that?
That's right.
Yeah.
Something else in my research that I found about you is that you speak multiple languages.
See.
Nice. Which one? Wow. Which one is your favorite?
Oh, now he's mad.
Oh, he's like, pick me back up. Let me be in.
Yeah. So, am liebsten ist Deutsch. My favorite one is German because that was the first one I learned. So I lived over in Germany for a little bit. And I actually really like the language. People think it sounds harsh, but it's no much more harsher than French, right? It's not no more guttural than French, but it's not as nasally as like French.
Yeah, but people think French is like the love language, right?
I know, and it is.
Yeah. So, another question for you: who is your favorite person to bounce ideas off of?
When that was, yeah. So obviously it would be like people who have already crushed it, right? Who have already been there. If I can get their time and attention,
right?
If I can get them to give me some feedback, I do hire coaches. I always have a coach. But just because you hired a coach doesn't mean they're always available for all your ideas, right? So sometimes I do have what I call business besties, people who are kind of in the same niche as me, market, doing the same maybe marketing campaigns or marketing tactics as I do. And or they're in my target market. So I like to bounce ideas off of them. And it's so like one of my prior lives was redesigning interfaces for NASA. So NASA would have this really complicated interface where they'd have to just push one button and where they wanted to just push one button to get important data, but it was super complicated, like push here, then go here, and then pick this drop down, then pick a radio button, right? So my job was to minimize that. And I think the best thing out of that job was understanding the value of feedback and getting feedback on so many of your ideas instead of just working in a vacuum.
So I imagine like me, you probably attend quite a few masterminds then.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Right.
Get so much out of masterminds, and we hold a weekly one in my group, and it's just fabulous. So
important.
Yes. So now I want to dive into your story because I've read a little bit about that, and I was just astonished of what you came through to get to where you are now. So I know we don't have time to go into the whole story, but if you could kind of give us the nuggets of your story.
Yeah. So I'm the first woman to make an iPhone app, which is called Gratitude Journal. still on the App Store today. So it's been on there like what, 12, 13 years, no funding,
Wow.
single producer, that sort of thing, which is almost unheard of. But when I created Gratitude Journal, it went viral and I did really good for a few years. And I like to call this my riches to rag story because I did really good. And then as soon as something goes really well, guess what happens? There's others that enter the market. And some of these other gratitude journals, they had funding, they, had a lot of marketing muscle, big teams. And so I was constantly trying to figure out, well, how do I get people to pay me more than once? Because I get them once when they download the app, but that's it. Like I'm updating it, I'm giving it to them. Like how do I do it? And then I tried all sorts of stuff like MLMs and like essential oils, physical products, t-shirts, journals, all these things that I thought, because I had a big list and I thought, well, if I sell to them, they'll buy this stuff. Tried to sell other people's products. And nothing really took off. Like I wasn't very good at anything. And I joined my first coaching program, and in there, people were coaching other people, right? Like, like you and I both do now.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's genius, because I helped people one-on-one and I helped them get results. Like I had a consultancy business, so I could definitely do a group of people. And so they're like, okay, well, the way you get people into your coaching program is you host a master or a workshop or a challenge, get them a win, and then get them into your mastermind. And so I'm like always doing things overcomplicated because I'm a techie girl. I had a 21-day challenge.
Wow, that's a long one.
Yes, it was a long one. It was a 21-day challenge. And people were dropping off like flies because that's a long time to be showing up for Zoom calls and things like that. And one day a lady joins my challenge and she's like, just rip all the audio from the video and put it up on a Google Drive. And at this point, I'd do anything. Like I was giving away gift cards, giving them t-shirts, whatever, like Amazon cards, just so they'd get through it. So I'm like, rip all the audio. Absolutely, I'll do that. So I ripped all the audio. It took me a few days, put it on a Google Drive. And then she disappeared, showed up live in our Facebook group about a week later. And she's saying like, I just downloaded everything and binge listened to it in one day. And I just like came home and said, we deserve to be grateful and we deserve to be wealthy, and punching the sky. And I'm smashing the hearts. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden she gets really teary and she says, and I'm going to paraphrase, but basically her son confided in her that he was planning to commit suicide. And she said he would have never have done that had I not like binge listened to all this. And I just sat there like, oh, whoa, that's a big thing. Like your life would have been totally different if I would have just said, don't, I don't have time to do the audio. So I'm like, oh, it's not my content, or it's not even 21 days, which everybody always laughed at. It's like how I delivered it. It was asking people to be on video all the time. And so every month I still did that 21-day challenge, but instead I'd upload all the audios to a platform called Simplecast. It's like a podcasting platform, but they didn't have the features that I needed. So I sort of hacked it. Like I'd upload it. It was private. I'd set the release dates because I wanted each episode to come out on a certain date. And it took me about a week, I would say, to get the show set up every single month. But it was so worth it because my completion rates went up. People were coming back to me with like messages saying, I never finished anything in a long time. This is awesome. I can't believe I got all that for like $97. That was so good. What else you got? Like, I'm going to, mom do this. And so there was word of mouth marketing, repeat buyers. It was like a home run with this, like less stuff, no membership areas, none of that. Just like, here's some audio. And we went live in a Facebook group every now and again. And I was like, I have it sorted. I had $100,000 month, like my first $100,000 month without trying. Like people were on the phone going, where do I want to sign up? Or where can I sign up? And I thought I had it sus. Like I got business figured out. I am down for the count. And then I don't know if this happened in your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood, all the schools closed and everything closed because there was like this crazy illness going around.
Yeah. Kind of a disruption for sure.
And so I have two little kids. One's a little boy. Well, at the time he was 4, and he loves to get on camera. But it's not that sort of like this guy likes to get on and just sort of be cute. He likes to like be the star of the show. So he'd run in the background, butt ass naked.
Oh, oh my goodness.
He'd take his Nerf gun with cream cheese and was shooting the ceiling and stuff while I'm having these coaching calls, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. That's so unprofessional, and most of the people were pretty cool about it, but it was constant interruptions. And
it seems like it make good reels and shorts though.
Yeah, if they were popular at the time. And I was into that. Yeah, right. Yeah, so it was a disaster. So what I did was I closed down my inner circle and I'm like, okay, I don't want to do it, but I need the software. And so I created Hiro FM, which was the audio distribution software I wanted when I was, getting people into my coaching program. And so I launched Hiro. That was sort of my pandemic project, launched it. And went out to some of my friends and I'm like, hey, this worked for me. Do you got any content you want to sell in audio format? So like one lady had all of her weekly Q&As that she just uploaded, and she sent some emails to her list saying, look, do you want this? And she made a few grand off of, repurposing content. And I'm like, hey, this is cool. And another woman took her course, uploaded it, and sold the audio version, I think as a bump or like an OTO one-time offer, which was cool. She's like, I made money from that. But where she really made the money was her course was very long, and her target market were moms. And so there was a lot of refund requests because they couldn't get through the materials. So when there was a refund request, she's like, hey, I'll gift you this audio version. And so her refund request just dropped so much that she hit her first million.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you made it simple for you, and you made it simple for your user. And that all stemmed back, if you think back to when you're at NASA, right? That you made it simple. Yes. Making it simple made you more money.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Can we kind of travel back a little bit to the gratitude app?
Absolutely.
All
yeah.
Right. So that had to be very important to you, gratitude, when you developed that, to have it be the app that you want to launch. So tell me about the importance of gratitude to you and how it plays in your journey.
Yeah. So so I don't know like really how to describe this, but there was a point in my life where I was living in England, and I was flying down, I think it was the M4, which is kind of like an interstate, going about 120, I think. Wow. As fast as my little Honda would go. Seriously, wow. It was floored. And I'm like, just flip, get me out of this pain. Why? Because I'd been living over there for 8-9 years, maybe. And started out working over there with Microsoft, really good. And then I launched my own business, my first time at entrepreneurship. And guess what? All these people that wanted to talk to me while I was working at Microsoft no longer wanted to talk to me when I had my own business. So it was like huge wake up call. And I was burning through all my money, and I was handling all the stress in ways that society taught me to handle stress, like go have a pint at the pub.
Oh, right.
And, just eat some chocolate. And England has good chocolate, and good junk food. So just eat good junk food and, eat some chocolate, drink some wine, watch some telly. So I was doing that, which is all really toxic stuff. And I didn't realize how bad it was. And, insomnia, getting sicker, gaining weight, all these things, like going into a depression. And then I got this middle of the night phone call from my brother saying that our dad had suddenly passed away. And I really carried the blame for that. And that's why that's why I had that moment going down the M4. It's because a few days earlier, I had just seen him. I had just been home and I knew something was wrong with him. And I didn't say anything to anybody because I don't want to rock the boat. I'm just here, So I blamed it on myself that I didn't say, hey, Dad, let's get you get you checked out. Something's not right here. But I didn't do that. So what was already a decline was just massively going in circles, terrible insomnia, terrible drinking, couldn't even get groceries without crying, just an absolute mess. And my husband, he says, look, let's get you back to the States where you can be closer to your family at least. And that just actually made it worse because then I had a failed business behind me, culture shock, all the big gaping hole in my family dynamics. And so when I thought I just even I got addicted to sleep aids. And if you don't sleep through the sleep aids, you got this fog. I mean, it's emotional, all this stuff. And so anyway, long story short, I ended up in the hospital with double pneumonia. That's how sick I got.
Man.
And I don't know if it was a doctor or somebody said, look, here's something for your pneumonia. Here's and then you need to get something for your depression. And I'm like, what depression? Because back then, if depression was equivalent to your bum on the street or something like that. Now it's a lot more evolved. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But back then it was still very taboo. And so I got home, huge wake up call. And I'm like, well, I'll just Google, see what, we can do about this. Cause I'll ask Dr. Google, and came up with this article. I think it was on Oprah. And it was all about these people, a vet, a war veteran, somebody who lost a child. I think somebody lost a home, and what they did to get through the shock of it. And what they did was write down what's good each day. They didn't call it a gratitude journal. They just focus on what worked out that day and write it down. And so I'm like, well, if they had that level of tragedy and it helped them out, maybe it'll help me. And so I didn't just write a few things. I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And I was doing that every single day. And it was about 2 months into it when I had a little bit of an epiphany. I'm like, oh, I'm sleeping through the night and I lost some weight and I got some job opportunities and I feel really good about life. And I'm like, wait, what was the silver bullet? Because just a couple months ago, I was sick in the hospital. And so, and I think the effects of gratitude hit sooner. It just took me a while to connect the dots. But when I did realize it was gratitude, I'm like, I got to tell the world about this. And Steve Jobs had just held up the iPhone. So I'm like, okay, I'll make an iPhone app. I don't live anywhere near anybody who knows how to make an iPhone app. I have no idea how to do it. I don't own a single Apple product, but I'll figure it out, because there were no books, there were no blogs. It was Apple didn't even have resources on how to make an app. So I'm like, I'll try it. And I got up early before going into my day job and would fumble around on docs. I was teaching myself Photoshop and all these different tools. And it took me about 2 or 3 months. And then we got it launched, the first version.
And around that time, you couldn't even Google how to make an app. Now you can Google make an app, and there's even people companies that help you make apps. Back then, that didn't exist. So
no, I didn't code it myself. I actually found a developer in India, and at the time there were developers who wanted to learn how to make apps, but they didn't have projects to work on. So they were super cheap. And so so I found a guy to build it for me, which was good. I designed it and he built it.
Nice. And that app is still available on the App Store today?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And I thought I saw somewhere else that you may be developing another app.
Yeah. So with Hiro, we just launched an app about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It was a soft launch because this is beta. I always like to just get it out there with my hardcore users first and get feedback. So it's a player. It's
Nice.
an audio player. So with Hiro, the cool thing is it's more like an interactive audio book or audio show. So with the player, now we know who listened to which episodes and for how long. So for example, let's say you have a process, you're teaching them a 7-step process. And on step 3, you want to reward them with giving them some tools or something, or, some credit, whatever it is, a coupon, anything. And you can see now, you can have events trigger when they get to that point in the audio. And then boom, it'll send off an SMS or email or something. And so now, yes.
My brain is working.
So now you got more of a dialogue going on because you can tell them in the audio, hey, I'm going to send you an SMS right now. And it's going to have this free little thing in there, a coupon. Or you could say something like, do you want a coupon for this? I'll send you an SMS. And then you just reply yes or no. And then you can have something automated. So then you're starting these dialogues. So if you want to get them on a call, you already have those dialogues going on. It's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. And so, yeah, anyway.
Can I tell you what it makes me think of? So with a coaching program, and you probably have people implementing this, is that sometimes they're not ready for a tool or that next piece of downloadable information until they get to a certain stage, right? And so that listening point could trigger that getting access to that tool, because when you dump everything on them at once, it's overwhelmed, right? I don't know how to use any of this. This is just too much.
Most people drop out of programs because of overwhelm or just too confusion of what to do next. Like, I don't even know where to start. Yeah. So you could just drip it out. Boom, 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 boom. You're here, you're here, you're here. Yeah. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is awesome. So what else can you tell us about Hiro?
Well, besides being a powerful marketing platform, so you can use it to get people to book calls or buy new products, you can also use it to deliver your whole coaching program. So there are some people who won't join certain coaching programs if they have to get on Zoom calls, if they have to watch a bunch of videos, because these are busy CEOs. So you could unlock a whole new marketplace if you ditch all the videos and only focus on audio. You can still give them a video. You can link it in the notes. You can still give them PDFs, all this stuff. But it's a way more, I think we get addicted to complexity, and funnels are hard. Membership sites are hard. And there's so many of my friends who are in that info business that they're struggling. They're struggling to get people through their content. They're struggling to get repeat buyers. They're just struggling on all fronts. And then they're like, I got to make another product, and it takes me 6 months to make a product.
I know this all too well.
Yes. And they just give up, right? They're just like, this is not meant to be. Whereas with Hiro, or with audio in general, you can sit down and record in an afternoon, all your episodes. Because it's not like a podcast where you need the intros, the outros. It's just raw and real. And I think people really gravitate to that. We lived in such a filtered world for well over a decade now. Yeah. we want real. Yeah. So getting rid of all the extra, dumping all the unnecessary stuff. You can create your audio programs in an afternoon, get it up and launched. With Hiro, we have the sales page already made for you. So you can even get rid of all your funnels, everything. Wow. That's our goal, is get rid of your membership site, get rid of your funnels, get rid of your email automations, because audio, it's you talked about NASA and how I focused on simplicity. Actually, with this, I was modeling billion-dollar agency or businesses like Amazon.
Mm,
So Amazon revolutionized how we purchase products because they have that one tap boom, and it's like so easy to buy.
Yep.
I mean, we don't even like shipping, don't worry about it. Returns, don't worry about it. Like everything's super easy. Uber, tap of a button, you got a car.
Yep.
Netflix, tap of a button, you got entertainment. So it's this idea that you're like almost making the tech invisible. Tap of a button, and it's just you in their head as they're going about their day. And here's the cool thing about audio versus video. So video has an average playthrough rate of 17 seconds. So if there's like nobody watching this right now,
Right.
that's probably why, because video is just nobody's going to watch.
Right.
Yeah. So audio, on the other hand, podcasts, there's an average playthrough rate of 80, 90%. And most podcasts are 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
So you do the math on that, you're getting way much more of their attention. Why is there such a high playthrough rate? Well, because they're not at their computer. And you're not competing with the rest of the Instagram or Facebook scrolls or everything else or all that other content. They are normally cleaning, exercising, or driving while they're listening to audio. So they're focused on something else and they just want to listen to you. And, I don't want to have to go to my phone for another 20 minutes because I'm commuting, or 30 minutes. So you have their undivided attention for a longer period of time. And then when you do that, and especially if they're like exercising, they're in an active state. And I don't know if you know much about endorphins.
Yep.
Or yes.
I listen to podcasts. It resonates with me because I drive and I listen to podcasts. I exercise and I listen to podcasts. How much audio content I consume is way more than video content.
Absolutely, right? Because it's just like hit play and then I don't want to mess with my phone. Right?
Yep.
And here's the cool thing. You're in an active state, so you're going to retain more information. So when you retain more information, you're going to act on it more. Secondly, you're in a happier state. And when you're in a happier state and you're listening to somebody's voice, you're going to associate that happy state with that person. So that know, like, and trust factor goes up way quicker. So there's just like, I don't know, I don't think video is natural.
Yeah, because a lot of people have struggled with even being on video because they struggle with, oh, how do I look? What does the background? How's my lighting? There's so many things that go into video. With audio, you just need a good mic, right?
You do. I have whipped together a podcast show, like the whole training programs, like 18 episodes, 18 steps with my kids at home, because you have these omnidirectional, then it's not picking up all the different noise. You got it, it's so quick and easy to just boom, 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 get it done. And my completion rates are way higher with my students. So I can look in my membership area and see, well, how much of the videos did they consume? And it's at best, maybe about 48%. And then I create an audio version and it's like everybody practically completes. It's crazy.
Nice. And if we could touch on one other thing that I also know, the caliber of people of the audience that listens to audio.
Yes.
You're going to get higher level clients because these are people that are exercising daily, people that are listening to podcasts and not music in their car. These are people that are high achievers that want to grow and learn more. So, and action takers.
They're open to new ideas. Yeah. They're your ideal audience. They usually have higher incomes.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I think I have one. So let's talk about your coaching program first before I dive into the next thing. So the tech is awesome. Like a lot of entrepreneurs are like, oh, this is great tech, but how do I really make money with it? You've touched on a few things, but I know you also have a coaching program around that. So can you kind of touch on that?
Yeah. So we're really jazzing it up a lot. So it's basically, we're going to take you and create what I like to call the automation machine, the automatic, I used to call it private podcast, but now I'm kind of leaning towards interactive audiobook or interactive audio show. It's kind of hard to put my finger on what to call it, but here's what we do is we will interview you so that you know exactly what to say throughout every single episode, so that the next logical step is book a call or buy a product.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's this exact formula to this. And the formula is based on what Tony Robbins does to create a table rush, or Russell Brunson, or all these people. It's beyond the perfect webinar because you need them to take action throughout. So there's some secret little things that we put in to make sure that there's the next logical step is just like, okay, I'll book a call. And you get the tire kickers out, like you vetted, and you only get calls with really quality people. The second thing we connect this with SMS so that they're getting text messages from you, because text messages have a 99% open rate.
Yep.
Versus like email, which is like, I don't know, 11, I don't know. So it's text messages, and that's a kind of a fine art. So we set up all the text messages, and not only that, we don't want it all automated. We don't want just bots. So we will either teach you how to maintain your text messages, or we will give you a VA who will manage everything for you. And then, and then the next logical step is what? Closing call. So then, if you're not really an expert closer, well, then that's okay. We'll get you a closer as well. So all you focus on is creating that first audio and coaching, and that's it.
Stay in your zone of genius, and then everything else just kind of plays out.
Yes.
And your clients get more because you're staying in your zone of genius. Sounds awesome to me.
I know, because how many people have got into coaching, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I am spending way more time learning about marketing and copywriting than anything else.
I teach people about relationships. I don't teach people market. I didn't know I need to know marketing and sales. And
I mean, it helps to what I love about this coaching program that I have is where this sequence that I teach, how to speak from stage, it can be used on your audio programs. It can be used if you're invited to be a speaker at an event. It can be used anywhere, and you can condense it down to like a 20-minute talk. It can be as big as like a 7-hour show. It doesn't matter. So it's really powerful.
And just to clarify, I was just presenting someone that would say, I'm not the relationship. I promote relationships, right? I'm big on relationships, but I'm not a relationship coach.
Oh, okay.
I'm marketing and sales. I was just kind of using that as someone would say, I teach people about relationships. I am in the marketing and sales arena, and most of my audience knows that, but they'll be like, huh, is he doing relationships now? So I just wanted to clarify that is awesome. So now we need to know, where do people go to find out more about your coaching program, and where do they go to find out about Hiro FM, and are they kind of like in the same place?
Yes, everything's in hiro.fm right now. I'm relaunching the coaching program, so don't have the URL set up because here's how it works. Do you want to know the sequence? You want to know the secret sauce?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You guys are getting behind the scenes. So it's a $1.99 interactive audiobook. This audiobook is interactive, meaning I'm going to send out chats. We're going to chat about it. We're going to do some stuff. You're going to get some homework. It's not just an audiobook, it's interactive. And at the end of completing that audiobook, you'll have your first show up and running and your first listeners, without any ads, without any funnels, without any list, without even having to pick up a mic.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
That's the $1.99 audiobook that I'm launching.
Okay. So I need you to get back with me as soon as you have that URL. So we're going to put it in the show notes and underneath this video, but for now, we're going to put the link to Hiro FM, and Carla will get back to me with that, because I don't know anybody that's going to say no to that $1.99 offer.
I know, right? So so once you get that show up and running, what's the next logical step? Well, how can we turn it into a sales machine with where you have your own, like you do the exact same audiobook that you just bought from me.
Wow. I hope everybody that's watching this now and watches the replay of this sees this, because that's just amazing. That's such a great offer.
Well, here's the thing. I hope you do take up on it, because I have a feeling that in a couple of years, it won't be as bleeding edge. All right. So people will be like, oh, it's that interactive audiobook thing. I know where this is going to go. Just like we know where the perfect webinar is going. All these other things, like I'm joining a challenge, they're going to pitch something at the end. Yeah. Now this is not, nobody's doing this.
Nice. Well, I'll be looking for that link myself. So.
Well, I better get my skates on and get it launched. My hope is in the next week or so. So yeah.
Well, thank you, Carla, for such a great interview, such an amazing story. And once again, the most adorable dog on the internet.
I know. He helps me out a lot.
And you have a special offer, if I'm not mistaken, right? You had told me for the interview, you get 1 month of Hiro Premium free and the $97 Quick Start Challenge course for only $7. And that link is going to be below.
Yeah, that's the one.
Awesome.
That's the audiobook. Oh, yes. So I changed the price. It's going to be $199.
Okay. So
it's going to be even cheaper.
It was going to be $7 and now it's $1.99. So less than a cup of coffee.
I know, less than most apps you get on your app phone. So or on your iPhone. So
if you don't take her up on this offer and you're a coach or consultant, just know that I'm going to come back to you and say, what are you doing?
I know. And I could share all day different ways that you can make money from this. It's just crazy. It's bananas. So I hope you guys do it.
Nice. Well, thank you again. And until next time, Trailblazers, keep moving forward.